nobody wants to die. So now, and I'm going to explain that because it's hard for even me to understand. But we all want cheap energy whenever we can get it to power everything we want forever. Okay, that's what the average person wants, especially the average American. But all of that comes with a cost. And I think that this particular well, and I know a little bit about it because being from Louisiana, everyone knows about it, was drilled in 5,000 feet of water, 18,000 feet down, and it's cutting the edge of what's never been done before. So the technology is advancing, but of course, the further we push it, the greater likelihood there's going to be a mistake. And this is so significant because all of the people that are fishermen, crabbers, shippers that live in that part of Louisiana, they've lost their livelihood 5 years after Katrina took it away from them before.
But now BP is going to pay for this mistake.
Yeah, they're going to pay for it.
So can these fishermen file a claim?
They already have.
I'm going to be out of business this.
They've already filed a claim, but of course, how long before they get that money?
Right.
And right now, their boats are sitting idle. They're sitting there of the oil. My friends in New Orleans,
companies, it's never the actual amount of money.
No, and I would love for somebody is in New Orleans or on the Gulf Coast would write in because I've talked to my friends down there. They said that you can smell it in the cities now along the coast. Yeah. So I think this is so different from the Exxon Valdez because there was a devastating impact to the environment, but it didn't affect the people there that much because there weren't that many people.
Wait,
here there's people across the
What is that heaven and hell thing?
Well, okay, everyone wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Oh, meaning we all want
all want everything, but we're not willing to pay the price that may come along with having it all. And of course, the free energy or low-cost energy being what we want.
So that's story number one. Remember,
that's story number one.
And then story number two. I thought you were gonna say the lacrosse murder.
I
mean, that story is just coming out still.
That just came out, and I just read about it today. So
I want to know, I want to know what she died from, first of all.
What do you mean?
What?
And all I know is obviously a men's lacrosse player killed a woman's lacrosse player.
But I want to know their backstory, why he killed her and how he killed her.
Well, of course, we have to assume that there's a relationship there somewhere.
Right.
Or unrequited love or...
Okay, well,
anyway.
We'll save that for next week then.
I don't know. Maybe that's it.
As it unfolds.
It's hard finding these psychologically oriented topics.
The Times Square car bomber, what psychology issue can you put with that?
Well, okay, so I think that the big deal there is that we, as human beings, there are a lot of studies show that most people are optimists by nature, okay? And to be an optimist means you can have a traumatic event, you can put it behind you, you can move on, and you can forget about it. Because sometimes after a loss, that's what you have to do. I think the problem here is that we tend to bury our head in the sand about terrorism and forget that it could happen to us. And the administration currently, I have a big issue with the fact that we can't say war on terror because it's not a war. I disagree with that. I think that we are in a war. And I think that because of our optimistic nature, after 9/11, everyone was up in arms and we did everything possible to be able to protect ourselves. And now you just kind of forget. You don't think about it. It's not that big of a deal. And yeah, it could happen, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. And I think it leaves us vulnerable. So that's the psychology of that.
I just feel bad for... Wait, Emily in Mississippi says a lot of fishermen, etc., will lose their jobs. That's going to cause psychological problems. So Emily, A+.
And Emily,
for answering my question.
I'll tell Emily not only that, but these are the same fishermen who lost their jobs after Katrina. So this is a 1-2 whammy within 5 years.
Candy Missinar just wrote in that too. She's saying it affects their mental status, seeing how Katrina was 5 years ago.
Right.
And here's a question from Pamela Espy. With the recent arrest of the alleged Times Square bomber being caught trying to flee the country, don't you think this would again make people weary of traveling in the upcoming summer months?
Yeah, I think for a while, but that's the thing, okay, we're all scared now. I was out and about on Saturday night, and I came within 2 or 3 blocks of Times Square a couple of times, had no idea this was going on until I woke up Sunday and read it in the paper. But don't you always get a little nervous when you go in a tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel, in the back of your mind,
Well,
I do.
When I go under tunnels, I'm just afraid there's going to be some leak or something.
Yeah, but I'm always
But a bomb
afraid
could
there's going to be
cause
a
that.
bomb under there. And so I think this brings it to our forefront for a little bit. But you watch, within a month or two, this is going to be forgotten again.
Well, it's just bad to say this, but it's also like there's been all these failed attempts. Like they're not, I mean, besides 9/11, but like
Right.
recently, it seems like
Amateur
they're kind of dumb. But I feel bad for like the legitimate like Pakistani Americans who are here. Now they're going to be like totally judged and discriminated against because this one guy. But then I don't understand, like, why would he want to be an American citizen and live here and own a house and be a part of our country?
Well,
and then
because he wants it all.
kill us.
He wants it all. No, obviously, I think that these individuals get brainwashed by the right-wing fanatical Islam, and this is what they believe their mission on Earth is to do.
Well, email in for which article you would like to see.
It looks like it's 2-1 right now for New Orleans over
by Dr. Archer.
I mean, for the oil
for
spill, right?
Foxnews.com.
The oil spill coming in first.
Well, they're not answering that question. So it's either story 1 or story 2, strategyroom@foxnews.com.
Right.
And we've got to welcome another guest. Angela Severiano.
Severiano, yes.
Angela Severiano is a musician and political consultant. I
scoot
love
over?
I love how
Okay.
you're both of those things. Because you've
Thanks.
had this successful songwriting, singing, music career. When did you get involved in politics?
Actually, it was kind of by mistake. Well, not by mistake. I've always had an interest in it, but I was never going to choose it as a career path. And about 5 years ago, somebody that I worked with on a lot of projects was starting an organization. It's the Business and Labor Coalition. So I started working with all these different unions and all these different elected officials, and I just started loving it. So from there on, I started doing it as a consultant, and I worked on like a lot of campaigns.
Yeah, because you also like sing at some of these campaigns and events.
Yeah, I
for
do sing
charity
at a
and all
lot of
that.
events for charity, yes. Yes.
And you were a finalist for Fuse TV's Top New Artist Search.
Yeah,
Is
that was
like a
a while.
reality? Is it almost a reality
That was
show?
a while ago, yeah. That was like in 2008. You read my bio.
While ago. That was only 2 years.
That
ago.
feels like so long ago.
I would say that would be part of being a host is reading your bio. Yeah.
Well,
They
see,
don't.
I had a heads
impressive,
up that I
yeah.
had a heads up that Angela was coming on. I did
Oh,
not
like
have a heads up that you, and I know your bio by now. But
like
wait,
Resident Shrek.
2008 was not that long ago.
It feels
2
so
years.
long ago to me. I don't know.
Well, hey,
Yeah,
congratulations. I thought it was cool.
Thank you
'Cause
so much.
Here's what happens. When I read bios of people, I pick out things that I think are interesting. And, you know, just if in case my mind goes blank or something, I have little things to talk about as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we were going to talk about, I think you came with some stories, or someone suggested some stories. We wanted to talk about 3 things.
3 things? Okay. I knew about 2.
Lady
so.
Gaga being in Time's most influential
Oh, I
top
don't really
100
know much
people.
about Lady Gaga.
Nick Jonas is trying to keep music in schools. And then I just want to ask you about the Justin Bieber phenomenon. Because
Okay.
he raised more money for Haiti with his songs over any of the other people.
Yeah, I brought some
That
stuff
were-
on Justin Bieber. I was like really impressed by him as a pop artist. You know, I don't know much about him until recently. Do you like him?
Here's why I like his story, and I think this is why everyone really likes him. I mean, you know, I'm too old now to look at a 16-year-old and be
No,
like,
you're
"Ooh,
not.
he's really cute."
I think he would look at you, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, the young girls, like, he's cute to the young
Yeah.
girls, so there's that element, but I really like it that, I like his story, that, you know, he was just a good singer, and his mom uploaded his videos on YouTube only back in 2007, and then Usher's manager saw these videos and flew him down to Atlanta, and then Usher produced his first record, and even though he still has, like, a high-pitched voice, kind of,
Yeah.
he's, you know, selling gazillions of records.
I just think it's kind of a relief that somebody can make it to the top without being on American Idol.
Yeah, I was going to say
mean,
something
that's-
too, because did you see Usher, I mean, this is going off the topic, but Usher made a comment yesterday that American Idol is like changing the whole music industry.
Absolutely.
Do they like it or not?
And he said that he thinks like it's making it so anybody can be an artist now. So But
Well,
I
then-
don't.
But then he's totally being hypocritical because he just made a nobody an artist.
Exactly.
I know,
And
but I
like,
think
isn't that the whole point too?
and
That you
but
get
I think
to.
I saw that, but I think his point was that he wants the people that are in the industry to be the ones to decide, whereas American Idol is really a popularity contest. So I get his point, but I disagree. I disagree
But
with
they're
him.
the
I disagree
consumer
with
that
him.
But
wants
you know what?
that.
Did you guys watch Idol Gives Back and see Carrie Underwood perform her song Change? I mean, she was way better than Alicia Keys and way better than all, like her performance was the thing that was like mind blowing to me on that whole episode.
Yes.
And she really is like a star and has won Grammy after Grammy and Country Music Awards, Entertainer of the Year, and just has an amazing voice. So that was just a way for her to get discovered.
No, I totally agree. And I also feel like maybe it's a little bit of an intimidation factor that all these artists that are used to dominating the industry and
That's what
selling
I
all the
think.
records, and like all of the American Idol artists are the ones that are, winning Grammys and selling records and are in the limelight all the time.
And Adam Lambert.
I was just
think,
going to say Adam Lambert.
He's like a different type of pop star.
Exactly.
But
and there's a lot of
understand.
diversity.
I mean, it's the same for like the news business or TV host world. Like I get pissed off when like a reality star ends up taking like, the hosting gig. It's like, no, excuse me, I've been doing this since I was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
And, I've worked my way up and did it this route, and then, someone just gets to cut corners, and just because they have a celebrity factor, that's all anyone wants now.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, I think that the key, obviously, now is that in the old days, you had to actually have talent to be able to make it to the top in media. And nowadays, if you get on a reality show, you may have no talent, but you get the exposure and the fame, and with that comes the recognition and all of the perks.
And I don't know when like all those recording devices came in to like make someone's crappy voice turn into like
yeah.
I remember I sang a song for like my music producer friend, and he auto-tuned it, like pitch corrected every single note.
And you said, well, that
And you
sounds
sounded
great.
like Whitney Houston.
Look at Heidi Montag trying to. Someone who got
Speaking of
famous
no
for-
talent,
Speaking of no talent, what a great segue.
Yeah.
But that's interesting with Usher saying that.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
My
But
best
it's
friend,
all-
I just
I'm
talked to
gonna-
my best friend. She is going to be a nanny for Usher's next door neighbor, and they apparently just had a big, huge party last weekend. So I'm like, okay, you have to spy on them, and then give me the gossip. She's going to on every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on
In
record
Atlanta, is that?
Yep.
Okay.
as saying that that's going to be the way of the future, that the insiders with the power and control are going to be gradually losing that to the internet and popular opinion, and the public are going to be the ones choosing down the road who,
You know what
who
else
all
I
of
think?
these
I noticed
stars
this because
are.
I just bought a bunch of songs on iTunes yesterday, and I was thinking about it. Like, artists are really ticked off about iTunes too, because like before everyone would pay for the whole
For the
album.
whole CD,
Right.
And
yeah.
now it's
and
like,
they get
sorry, we don't want to
royalties.
buy those 17 other crappy songs
It's
for your one
true,
single. Like now
yeah.
it's like we only buy the songs that are really good. So you have to be like Lady Gaga and make all of your songs a hit.
Unless you're the Eagles and don't have anything on iTunes.
Right, but right.
I mean,
And
because so some of the really
Kenny
big,
Chesney doesn't
yeah,
want to
some
be
of
on
the
there
I
either.
think Garth Brooks.
But why? I don't understand why you wouldn't want. I mean, if you're not, the Eagles aren't really releasing anything new, so it's like, why wouldn't you just want another way to sell your music?
Because I think that some of them have exclusive deals. I think Garth Brooks has one with Walmart. So all of his music has to go through Walmart. So of course that's.
But he still
Million-
is making music.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
still selling a lot of
I don't know. I mean,
records,
times
too.
are just changing. So
And I think so,
yeah.
but I think that it's people always say, well, it needs to go back. It's not going back.
Right.
It's not going back. It's going to continue going forward. And I think that what we're going to see is more and more where the people are going to decide what they want, and the executives are going to have no choice but to give them that. And they lose power and control along the way.
I can understand too, from an artist's perspective, like the only things that really make it are these like pop things that Kiss FM in Los Angeles or
Yeah,
Kiss FM
yeah.
or-
It was
I don't even know what New York's radio station is because I don't have a radio or a car to listen to the radio. But like they only play like the top 20 songs over
Yeah.
and over and over again, and then once your song's done, you're off.
It was so funny. Yesterday on my Facebook, I didn't know what I was going to really talk about, so I like put a little post. I'm like, I want to talk about something fun and music, and a lot of people were writing about American Idol, but it was funny that a lot of people put frustrations about like playing the same songs over and over and it being dominated. Yeah, so.
But do you guys have Sirius XM?
Well, yeah, Sirius XM,
Well, I mean,
satellite,
for me, I
and
think
music
that's,
choice.
that's the best.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to listen to any shows, really?
Well, no, because then you can pick the channel, the genre that you want to listen to, but they come up with all of these new songs all the time, things you've never heard of before. And so, I mean, I can't listen to regular radio anymore. It's because, like you said, if you listen to classic rock, it's the same top 100 classic rock songs that everyone's heard 1,000 times before.
Hey, we got to go to a commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to have Wendy Diamond here. I think we'll just keep the panel here and bring Wendy on. Is that doable? I like you guys. So we'll be right back. I have a promotion of the strategy room that I need to tell you about today. Later today at exactly 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time, Eric Bolling is going to be interviewing the oil tycoon T. Boone Pickens. I'm sure you've heard about him, seen him. He's always doing political stuff out there. So everyone tune back in to the strategy room for that at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. And we have another guest. I decided to keep my panel, and then Wendy Diamond is here. She is like the most well-known dog woman in New York City. And as you can see, she's brought her dog, Lucky, who's got a little summer shave going on. And you're here because you are promoting your 6th book about dogs.
Yeah, it's a dog's world. It's basically a culmination of the last decade of promoting animal rescue and pet lifestyle. So what it is, it's the ultimate book for anyone who has a dog or is looking to get a dog. It basically tells you everything you need to know about having a dog in your lifestyle, whether it's, what kind of fabric you should have on your couch that will repel pet hair, if you should have your dog sleeping in the bed with you or in its own dog bed.
Well, what is the answer to that?
Actually, it's really interesting, and everything's really detailed out in this book. I mean, this is like 10 years of everything I've been doing in lifestyle of pets.
No. You can give me one piece of advice.
One piece of
I want to
advice.
know.
I have a question, too.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. You should not have your dog sleep in the bed with you. It's actually bad feng shui.
Why?
Wait, feng shui or for your health?
It's actually feng shui, because at the end of the day, your dog should have its own bed and should feel comfortable on its own. And then you and hopefully with whomever
I thought
you're
you were
with.
going to say like germs or fleas.
No,
or
never.
never. No, that's not.
So
a
it's just
problem?
bad for the bonding aspect of it?
It's the bonding aspect. The dog's a dog. It's like you're not going to sleep with your child all its life.
You're right. I tell patients that all the time. I'm a psychiatrist. I tell them all the time, you can't sleep with your kids
Exactly.
past a certain age, right?
Same thing with the dog.
Okay, another question. I have always had dogs, but I'm allergic to the hair. So I've always had to keep them in other parts of the house, keep it real clean. Are there dogs, A, that don't shed, or B, is there something that you can do about that to control that?
Well, first of all, there's no dog that's absolutely, hypoallergenic, 100%.
I thought the Obama's dog.
Well, the Portuguese, it's like the Portuguese water dog, the Maltese, the poodle. They have real fur versus.
Oh, we need to fix your mic. Sorry, I think is it ruffling on the feathers?
Yeah. Probably the dog is ruffling it.
So anyways, you should absolutely get like a Portuguese water dog, a Maltese. You can get a poodle.
So they shed less.
So they shed less. And also there's a lot of tricks you can also learn from my book.
I know, that's what I'm trying to get the tricks.
Well, for instance, you could throw a sheet of Bounce in the dryer and it'll help repel pet hair. So there's a lot of little tricks on keeping away the hair.
I gotta get the book.
I must say, since I've gotten my dog, like my life has definitely changed a little bit. Like I definitely feel like a more responsible person. Like I love him so much. We just cuddle. Like I would do anything.
Does he sleep with you?
Yes.
No.
We spoon, like, I never thought I'd say, like, I love my dog's stank. Like, my dog can smell. I don't care. Like, I love his puppy scent, and I love his breath, everything. Like, we just cuddle together.
So is that, with you and your husband,
before-
is that agreeable that the dog sleep in the bed? Or do you, because a lot of couples fight about that.
Right, yes.
Do
Yeah,
you fight about
initially
that?
he didn't want him in there.
Right,
but
right. It's common.
Our dog's just so, like, sweet.
So the dog won him over.
Yeah. He can be a little bad, but then he'll just look at me with those big brown eyes.
Well, I think that when it comes to dogs, and especially now, I mean, over half the U.S. population has an animal. There's over 68 million dogs, 88 million cats. So, and in the future, what we've realized is there's nothing better than puppy love. I mean, you get unconditional love, loyalty, and a bond. You're never going to hold a grudge on a dog. You're always going to have, be able to just have the lifestyle aspects of having a dog. It's really healthy to have a dog, and it's much better for one's lifestyle.
What other tips do you give in your book?
Traveling with your pet. Okay, first of all, I mean, there are so many amazing hotel programs like that, like Kimpton Hotels. They do not ever, you can bring any size dog, whether you have, a Bernese Mountain Dog or a little dog. They allow every type of dog. They allow them, you can have cocktails in the lobby with your dog. So they're very, very pet friendly. It's also airlines. Now all the airlines have pet programs, but there's only 2 dogs per plane allowed.
Right.
So it's really important to call ahead. It's also important the right dog bag. And also, not all dogs can fly. Not all dogs want to travel. And that's something you always have to ask your vet.
Is it safe for the dog to fly in the back of the cargo hold if you have a big dog, which can't fit on the plane?
So, for instance, Continental Airlines has launched this whole Pet Safe program where now they can control the temperature under the cargo. So at one point, like 5 years ago, you used to hear about a lot of these horror stories. And now what has happened is they've made them all temperature controlled, and it's a lot nicer for dogs to stay underneath that.
Do you talk about pet air?
First of all, I don't think anybody would drop off their dog at an airport and then go.
Pet air is crazy. I had a friend who did it, who flew their dog. And the thing that you don't realize is that you have to be there to drop them off at the airport, but then you need somebody there at the airport to pick them up. So
what's the point?
You have to have someone else in that city to pick them up.
And they do one flight a day to some obscure city. So I obviously don't think. I mean,
really
it's a great
expensive
publicity.
too.
Well, it's a great publicity stunt. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone wants to cover it because it sounds interesting. But when you look into it, you're not going to drop your dog off and then go to JFK and get on another plane to take yourself somewhere.
Right.
So the whole purpose of that airline doesn't make sense because, first of all, it is not affordable. Also, you're not going to just let your dog go on its own. And thirdly, why would you go and drop your dog off at some other airport?
When you're going to fly and put it on the plane that you're on, right?
And they don't even fly anywhere. They don't fly anywhere.
Right,
they fly to 2 cities and one flight a day. So to be honest with you, no.
I understand it if you're moving and you need to just get, but then if no one's at that location, then point.
What I go through in the book is really about all the airlines, what programs the airlines have. For instance, people probably don't realize El Al, the Israeli airline, whether you're going to Israel or not with your dog, but they give pet miles. And they were the first airline ever to give pet miles. So, I mean, there's a lot of really funny and interesting stuff in the book that will enable you to have a better life with your dog.
Does your pet need an ID? So otherwise you could give the same name to 3 different pets and collect a lot of miles? I mean, I'm just thinking about a scam.
I don't think that, I think that first of all, when it comes, 79% of pets travel. And whether that's traveling in a car to go to the vet, or whether
right.
that's traveling to Florida on a vacation, whatever it is, people do travel with their pets. So now companies such as, you know, Kimpton Hotels, the Starwood Hotel chain, American Airlines, Continental Airlines, have programs to make it a lot easier for you to fly with your pet.
Wendy, how's the pet industry doing right now?
The pet industry has not suffered in this bad economy yet. First of all, a lot of people are having to give up their pets and put them up for adoption, but more people are aware of adoption, and you can get any type of breed of dog or cat or anything up in a shelter. So you don't need to go and purchase a dog anymore. You can actually adopt any breed. And what's really great about it is in the pet industry, it's a $46 billion industry. $44 billion is just the necessities, the commodities, the dog food, the cat food, the kitty litter, the stuff that you really need. Because, you know, these pets don't care about fashion. They're fine with last year's leash and collar. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the pet business, you know what? People love their animals, and they're not going to skimp on their animals.
Is the push to get people to adopt from the pound starting to work and get rid of the puppy mills that are out there?
Well, when I launched my, pet career, and I launched Animal Fair, and that's kind of what it's discussed in the book. In 1999, 12 million animals were euthanized in shelters, and this year it's down to 5 million. So I think the awareness and everyone in the media kind of showing how much animal rescue is at the forefront of our media, and that people realize you can adopt a dog, and also spay and neutering, thanks to Bob Barker. Yes! You gotta love Bob Barker. I mean, thanks to like all the promotion of spay and neutering, now people realize, you know what, you need to do it, because otherwise you're gonna have a ton of puppies and kittens without homes.
Kenneth from Arizona has a question. He's heard about a pet spa in Beverly Hills. Isn't that too much, he asks?
Well, first of all, pets are children, right? They really are. They never grow up and go off to college and take care of themselves. So whether you want to send your dog to a spa so your dog gets groomed, I mean, what's a spa for a dog? Let's be honest. Yeah. It's getting your hair. It's not like they're getting mud baths. You know what I mean? So it's, they're getting groomed.
They're getting cut.
So
if
somebody wants to call, and it's Beverly Hills, let's not forget.
Yeah.
They'll call a groomer a spa. Yeah. And that's just how it is. First of all, if you want to spend a little extra money and send your dog to a dog spa or send your dog to PetSmart, it's all the same thing. They don't care who's cutting their hair as long as they're cutting it right and it's clean.
Aww. Well, we were talking with Angela. I want to get your take. What music do you listen to?
Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
Do you listen to pop radio ever?
Yeah, I do.
And what do you think? Do you think they play the same songs over
They
and over
say they
again?
play the same 10 songs all day long.
Right. Yeah, we all agree.
Angela's a musician,
Right?
but she doesn't have a dog.
And a political consultant. And a political consultant.
Well, I just came back from the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
You
Oh, you
went?
went?
Yeah.
How'd you get an invite? Mine was lost in the
I've
mail.
gone for 7 years, thanks to John McLaughlin, the McLaughlin Group. And I have to tell you, it is probably the most fun ever in Washington, D.C. And Lucky got to hang. If you go to our Facebook,
Lucky got to go?
If you go to
You didn't bring him into the dinner.
Oh, wait.
did you?
If you go to Wendy and Lucky Diamond on Facebook, you can see Lucky hanging out with everyone from Rupert Murdoch. You'll crack up. And you can see Lucky with the Jonas Brothers, Matthew Morrison, the star of Glee. You can see Lucky with Rosario Dawson. You can see Lucky with Adrienne Grenier. Yeah, she had a great time.
Aww.
She celebrates. And we had the first ever.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid and Lucky.
On Facebook.
Yeah,
Lucky
and
with
so
Dennis
we
Quaid.
did the first ever White House Pet Correspondence Benefit. And that is to give hope to all the homeless animals. And we had a Bo Obama impersonator. And it was really, really a lot of fun. And it raised awareness towards the animals that are up for adoption in Washington, D.C.
Very cool. So dogs are allowed. I mean, who knew that?
I can't believe they allowed a dog.
I
in.
know. I can't either.
Or did you sneak her in?
Listen,
I think
Okay,
ask
what's the
for,
sco- what's the
ask
scoop?
for forgiveness, not for permission.
That's right. Better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
And
Beg for
That is-
okay.
Right.